10th Assembly have had issues to deal with, coming from loyalty issue to leadership oversight function, the laws that they've made, the laws that they've also had pending, the issue of the state police, for instance, the issue of the tax reforms. There's just been a whole lot of issues on this National Assembly. Comrade Steve Aluko, how would you rate the performance of this 10th Assembly, especially that of the Nigerian Senate? Remember, we have about 8 former governors on the floor of the House, almost the same number of former deputy governors on the floor of the House. Out of 109 senators, we have 4 of them that are women senators, 1 from Lagos, the embattled one from Kogi Central, the immediate past deputy governor of Rivers State, and of course, the FCT senator, Senator King. So the House have had these issues left, right, and center. Comrade Steve Aluko, what would you say about the performance of the 10th Assembly as we speak today?
Let me sum it up. If you still go to that book of Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 10, it says, if the iron be blunt and it be not wedged the edge, then must he put to more strength, but wisdom is profitable to direct. And he said, if you borrow with a leg, we say, surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and babbler as it is better. My summary, or somebody that have watched the different National Assembly, is that the National Assembly is going on a zero-sum achievement. Zero-sum achievement. Let me also put it on record that senator that they also suspended is representing me at the Senate. And if you look at the issues that
Senator Natasha Akpoti is from Kogi Central. That's true.
I'm putting it on record that from the advent of this democracy till date, Senator Natasha and former Senator Abatemi, they are the best we have ever got in terms of people representation, in terms of people legislation, in terms of oversight function at different levels. I can give you to that. No matter what anybody is saying, let's look at the history. How did Akpabio become a senator? In a civil country where the law reigns in all intent and purpose, there wouldn't have been an Akpabio at the National Senate, because he went for the primary with Tinubu. He submitted himself at the end of the day, and by the electoral, there's no basis for him to be on the ballot paper. But because of the manipulation of the electoral process, he found himself there. Secondly, the professor that was jailed for rigging election, whose result did he tamper with? Then you come to Natasha. Natasha stood against a governor that doesn't know anything about governance. Yaya Bello.
That's your former governor.
And defeated Yaya Bello. And then you look at progressively what she has been doing at the National Assembly, and you ask yourself, the people that are jumping to anger now, what is their performance in comparative terms to what Natasha has done? People are zeroing down to sitting arrangement. Is more than sitting arrangement. Look at his petition. Abuse of public office is a national question. Abuse of power, issue of sexual harassment, and then the third one, intimidation. You don't allow it on the floor of the Senate for whatever reason. If you say he's sitting on the wrong seat, has it happened before? How was it handled? Let's go to the letter, the love letter written by former Senate President Saraki, advising both Natasha and the President. Why are we not having fair hearing? And then if you look at the law that she quoted, that when you are quoting something of national interest and public interest, you listen, and then on that basis that is discussed, or you say you are not discussed. But in this instance, you did not even allow her. You just went on. But let's look at the substance of the case. And I've listened to some of those ladies. I'm sorry I'm using them as ladies, because I expected much from them, like Kingibe and then Itadiwa, talking what they are talking. I saw it as utter nonsense. Itadiwa, when she was a senator, who wished away her constituency? Was she not part of the conspiracy that ostracized part of Nigeria and give it to
Cameroon.
the other republic. And then you look at what King Libe's wife is saying. Is your daughter. It's not issue of daughter we're saying. Look at the substance. Were there evidence or case to be established that to be proven for or against on issue of sexual harassment? 1. 2. Is there cases of intimidation? I'm happy you have mentioned some other examples. You don't have the power to just suspend people arbitrarily. And then you come to the recommendation of the committee. Once you are elected a senator in any country, you remain a senator for life. Nobody can. Do you even have the power to recommend 6 months, even by their own dictate? If you take their own rule, highest is 14. And then you must establish a case and have given ground for fair hearing for all the parties that are involved. But look at what, let me say, only got his case back on the basis of lack of fair hearing. Should he be the one that will be talking to somebody in that manner? If you put what the Senate have done, is to tell you the penchant with which they have been doing their business. Lack of respect for their own rules, lack of respect for their own ethics, and they just do all sorts of things and damn everything. These Senate assemblies, if they don't review and reverse their ground, they will go down the memory lane as one of the worst National Assembly we have had. It is under this senator that you hear that so they were going to pass the budget without thorough screening. It's under him you say off the phone, off the mic, and many other things that have come in. And I think it's very, very important that the best the Senate will have done in this instance is to give room for fair hearing so that you'll be able to establish the case for and against. I'm not even saying rule in the best interest of Natasha, but giving very, very hearing, give Akpabio to fair hearing, and on that basis move on. But when you don't give hearing, you are indirectly intimidating other National Assembly members, so that you kill decent voice, so that you kill voice of opposition. It doesn't follow, and we should not encourage it, because today the conspiracy is against Natasha. Tomorrow it can be against anybody. And look at some of our youth to have employment, and then the Nigerian internally generated revenue and external funding will go up. It's an issue. The lady said, I want to address the issue of corruption in a Ajaokuta complex. And she said this is not the first time that it play out. That previously they will raise all that discussion, waste time, and at the end of the day, or the national or the principal staff will tell them the mood of the house is not there to discuss Ajaokuta project. You have every ground to be angry, because it was on that basis she campaigned that she wants that project to come at top, and then you are frustrating it. So humanly speaking, she has every ground to be angry. But beyond this, Ajaokuta is not a national project that will suit any mood at any time. That's to tell you the type of leadership. May we pray we don't have this type of acting president too. Because if we have this type of acting president, if anything happen to the president and the vice, believe you me, he is going to ground the whole system of government. When he was governor in Akwa Ibom State, there was no equipment in that hospital. Suspend any senator out of debate. You now say when she goes back in that 6 months, that he must not have engagement with her constituents, and must not address any media, be it local or foreign. As a senator, what happens to her rights? She's forced to discuss other developmental issues. Let me tell you, let them bring their scorecard, let Natasha bring her assembly. So these are the issues, and I think we must look at this issue frontally, so that people don't masculate themselves because they are men and begin to denigrate women or whatever this thing. Look, what happened at the national is a rape on democracy. It's not just a rape on the women vote. It's a rape on democracy. And whosoever have given a Fabio award, it shows that they don't know why they are in the National Assembly. And maybe the example you give. That's not because about the age. Because an injustice to Natasha, the people they represent at the committee level, and then the recommendation that were made, does Senate have the...
Comrade Steve Aluko, at that top level, and it's a space where the entire world was women in politics. Since 1999, this is the second lowest representation that would have at 8.5. 7, 5, and signal. Comrade Steve Aluko, the issue of sexual harassment is not something that is peculiar to the national sex for grades. We've seen people come out to say that, oh, I resigned from my office place because my boss was harassing me, this and that. Did we miss the opportunity to send the right signal to everyone that may have been going through 1 or 2 harassment to say you can come out and speak? Did we miss that opportunity with the way we handled this Senator Natasha Akpoti's issue?
Let me say that it's not only the Natasha issue. Generally, that is the bedrock. You've had police asking a rape victim, it's because of the way you dress, or did you not enjoy it, and the rest of it. It's a national question. And that is why it says some of us that it was not given a thorough debate, it was not given a fair hearing. If the National Assembly have done that, it will embolden more women to come up with different angles that people have read them and on one point or the other. But secondly, let me say this. I'm not after just the number of the women in the National Assembly, because we'll be reducing it to tokenism. It is the agenda. What agenda do they have to promote the dead child? What agenda do they have to promote the women? These are the issues. And I think this National Assembly, if you do a comparison with other assemblies, they miss it. And this is the more reason why the National Assembly should rethink its way and allow for fair hearing. Because that means that if there are other cases of sexual harassment, as petition that is forwarded to them, this is how they will not treat it well. This is how they will not consider it. But beyond everything, we should not just limit it to a number of women that are involved in national politics or the House of Assembly. What are the agenda they are bringing on board? And that is when Natasha stands out clear more than other people. I'm going to do a comparative analysis. Itajiwa that is talking another thing. How clear did he represent the women in our local government that was wheeled away by Obasanjo to Cameroon? And then you come to Tğᴇ, the women that are suffering in Abuja. To what intent and purpose has she been able to galvanize debate along their interests? And this is where Natasha stands far above every one of them. She has discussed women issues, she has discussed men issues, she has discussed national issues. And the best the Senate will have done is to allow for fair debate, fair contest of ideas, so that at the end of the day we are able to raise the bar beyond where the disciplinary committee and the 10th Assembly have dropped it. I don't want to mention name on the air, but I can tell you that a great number of them that were involved, we know them at personal level. And some of them is just that you are trying to cover the rot you are involved in. Some of them were involved in some of these rots at different levels. And like you said, we have it in the public sector, we have it in the civil service, we have it in many areas. And this is the more reason why a thorough debate on this issue will have opened up a lot of things and will have helped the Senate to take a better reform legislative action that will have prevented further abuse and dehumanization of the women for abuse of office and intimidation by the principal staff of any national assembly or state assembly or executive arm and the rest of it. It's a plague that the National Assembly has given us. We must begin to discuss it, because every discussion about sexual harassment is either by your father or your brother or your mother or your sister or one girl or one boy that can be of help tomorrow. So it's very, very important that we open the discussion beyond the celebration of the Women's Day and the rest of it. We must accelerate at different public level and private level, while we must enhance the development of the girl child and the woman food, so that at the end of the day, every one of us can have the very best for this country. That they are there today. Some of Akpabio said he has girls. If you don't do the right policy, the right program, the right legislative, then you are indirectly engaging in the life of your children. So the issue goes beyond Natasha. It must become a national issue. It must be discussed. It must be encouraged at all fronts.
Well, Comrade Steve Aluko is the executive director of civil liberty organizations in Nigeria, and he's been my guest on the show today for I mean, we've been on this one since 4 p.m. and then we've looked at issues that has to do with the CSOs and the CLOs in Nigeria. Are they captured voice for democracy? Well, Comrade Steve Aluko feels like no, that a lot of interest groups are still speaking out, the media, advocacy, growth, development, and they are also playing their part. We'd also look at the River State conundrum. Is there any help in sight with all of the drama that has been going on between the River State House of Assembly, the Governor Sim Fubara, the former governor, and the current FCT minister Nyesom Wike, and a host of other sundry issues in the state? And we've also looked at the performance of the 10th Assembly, specifically the Nigerian Senate, and the burden of credibility. I mean, the Senate had been under spotlight almost since the first day Senator Godswill Akpabio became the president of the Nigerian Senate. From the whole of the mic drama, from the whole you receive mail by December, all of these issues and more are constantly questioned the independence and the credibility of the 10th Assembly. And this is supposed to be the highest lawmaking body in the land. Well, the next couple of months, I would also unravel all of the drama that is going on. Let me allow you join the conversation. Comrade Steve Aluko will be on the phone so that he can listen to some of the questions you may want to ask and also respond accordingly. Comrade Steve Aluko, please give me about 10 more minutes so that I can respond to some of the contributions.
Don't worry, I'm not a Fabio. I'm fully on the ground.
Thank you very much. Please, let's make our contributions real quick. Hello, good evening.
This is Olaywola from the guy.
You're welcome.
Yes, I want to ask your guest. I have an issue that has been bothering me, and it concerns the intellectual analysis and case-related issue. In the case of River, if tomorrow the governor presenting the budget to the House of Assembly, I think the federation account will be sending money to a River State, isn't it? Without the local government election conduct. That is the case, isn't it? Hello?
Hello, I'm with you. Go on. Is that the question you want to ask?
I want to ask because they are picking up the analysis from your station more than 2 days now. In the case of Lagos State, between the Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a directive from the executive arm of government saying they should not send the money of the local government to the Lagos State. And the Lagos State challenging and they seize their allocation and later the federation release the money to them. But the case of the River State now, without the local government conducting election, if tomorrow the governor presenting the budget and the budget pass through, I think the federation will send the money to the River State. That is my question I want to ask. And I want to get the final clarification on it.
Okay, thank you very much. You get your response. Let me pick more calls. 0913600 Comrade Steve Aluko is still on the line. Hello, good evening.
I agree to.
Oh, Former, good to have you on the show.
How was the weekend, though?
Well, good. And yours?
I heard that you are in the church yesterday. Okay, let's go to the business of the day. Kudos to your guest. One thing I appreciate for your guest, he always back it up with his Bible reference. I also have a long way to go in the Christian kingdom. And also I always appreciate each time you invite me, I always follow the Bible reference to back up the analysis and the type of people leading on. Are they?
Oh, Former, please try and call back if you can. I would appreciate 09136000410. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, Chris from Ojo.
You're welcome, Mr. Chris.
Yeah. I'm sure you listened to Barrister Curtis yesterday. Even if you didn't listen, I would advise you to go.
I did.
And I think you've been listening to a lot of lawyers and some of them, there's people in the field about the River State judgment. And I also think if you've not listened, maybe you should listen to Kenneth Okun.
What's going on with the network? Please. In case you're struggling to reach us, you can also send your messages. I mean, I really don't know. Maybe this is another issue we should also talk about. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Doctor.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Madam Bello Usman. I am coming from Idimo. I want to speak about the Senate President and his friends in the retirement home of governors, which is National Assembly in the House of the Senate. The fact is that if there does not take in this country, after the claim that he has right to suspend a senator and he has a replacement from that same constituency, I don't even see anywhere that the Senate have right to suspend anybody, because Akpabio was not elected as a Senate president for his own constituency. He was elected as a senator the way Natasha also was elected. And if Natasha alleged him of sexual harassment, what's supposed to happen? He and the Natasha should step aside until the investigation concerning the allegation is concluded. But now there was nothing like that. By the way, if we know stand very well Akpabio under the Akpabio, because under his world leadership as a Senate president of Nigeria, he will suspend you and have a replacement, your replacement for your constituency, which is very, very wrong. Akpabio is the worst Senate president in the history of Nigeria. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you very much. 09136000410. Well, somebody texted now that I should list the 4 females. She's representing Lagos West Senatorial District. There's also Senator Iṛsᴛᴇ representing the good people of the FCT. There's Senator Natasha Akpoti representing Kogi Central Senatorial District. And there's Senator Ikpalibo Banigo, that's the immediate past Deputy Governor of Rivers State, representing Rivers West Senatorial District. So I have to quickly put that out for the person asking. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
You're welcome.
This is Badamosi from Sᴛᴜ.
Okay, Mr. Badamosi, straight to the point.
Yes. Concerning Natasha has a case, but it is private between her and Akpabio. The alleged act was not committed, or the harassment was not committed in any office in the assembly chamber.
Okay.
And
hello?
Working under Akpabio in any office inside the chamber. Natasha is a senator, but the alleged act or the alleged harassment was committed outside of the chamber. So I don't know why they are saying that Akpabio should step down for investigation for that. Natasha, if she has a case, she can go to court. The Wednesday working in Oval Office when the alleged printing, and it was decided. Let the court decide like Natasha's case and say, okay, Akpabio is guilty. Then it's not fit for Senate President.
Thank you.
That's my position. Yes.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate you. I'll pick one more call, and I'll also go and read your messages on our social media platforms. Please, Wise.
The only one more call is me.
it's always you.
Thank God, because I was pressing. Mr. Small before 6 o'clock, I must get you.
You're welcome.
And I thank God for that. Thank you, my dear. You see, when you talk of Akpabio addition, the matter is two matters on the table. One is sexual matter, which is can go to any court. But when you talk about the discipline representative of the House, no organizer today that I think can't suspend any warning member of the organization, even the ordinary club.
Sure.
So when somebody go change the rule of the House, they have to give her suspension. And the best thing to do for her is to apologize and come back to the chair and sit down and make love for Kogi for Nigeria, for represent Kogi State. And again, Mr. Scott, I want to double to Rivers State. Those who telling this man, don't worry. He come back from Aso. He said the jungle is mature. Now, you speak on give the verdict. And when we are talking of institutions, it's like the greatest instance Supreme Court. They've given their verdict. The best thing for the Rivers State governor is to fully implement the Supreme Court judgment. And that is the case. After the no more problem, no wahala.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Prince Wise. Let me also read some of your messages that I have here. This is on Facebook, and this one says, Kende Ope says, this is Kende from Ijegun. El-Rufai is not serious. That man has lost relevance. Buhari used 8 years with his nepotism and where was El-Rufai? He has indirectly working for Tinubu. Rivers State, I blame Fubara. When the issue started, he allowed himself to be used by aggressive Atiku camp who was urging and deceiving Fubara on, which we on the other side cautioned him to tread softly. On the Senate, either Natacha and Akpabio, none of them have the country's interest at heart. When they were sharing budget money and padding budgets at our detriment, both of them are birthday mates. They both took pictures in Geneva. They know what they are doing and they know what we don't know. Okay, John Esson says, good evening, Opa and Aluko. The greatest threat to our democracy is the Supreme Court. The judgments from the Apex Court these days are questionable and can lead to anarchy if care is not taken. Thanks for the great job you're doing, Mike from the UK. Joe Eremo on Facebook says, where is the PDP as a political party in Rivers State? The political party of the 27 House of Assembly members must dictate to these rebellious 27 to follow the party rules. The anger of Governor Fubara is that Wike wants to appoint all the commissioners, local government chairmen, and any major project. Wike is having his way because of the federal appointment. Thank you. Okay, this is Lukman Oladipupo, all the way from Dakar, Senegal. And it says, to be honest with you, Fubara have been caged by the federal might. Wike will use all the powers to make Fubara bow to the 27 legislators. All I can say is what we are practicing in Nigeria is not democracy. Okay, I wonder what it is if you're not campaigning, if you're not practicing democracy. Abdul Rafiu Alabalakwe says, you guys, the media, enough of these Akpabio matter. Let's discuss burning issues affecting the ordinary Nigerians. Well, if you follow the conversation today, then you know that the issue was an appraisal of the performance of the 10th Assembly, and one way or the other, the issue of Senator Natacha Akpoti actually came up, and it's an issue that is still under review, and so we can always talk about it as well. So thank you very much. Kendi Okpe says, I blame Fubara that when the issue started, he allowed himself to be used. Comrade Steve Aluko, what a session we've had on the show today. Help us wrap up this conversation and let us know what to expect from now going forward. The former governor of Kaduna State and one of the people that stood his ground and insisted that power must come to the south. That's Malam Nasir El-Rufai officially today announced his decision to dump the ruling APC and pitch his political tent with the SDP. Have we seen the end of this drama? Or all of this is a build-up to the 2027 election? Let's do this in 1 minute, Comrade Steve Aluko.
One was Natasha given fair hearing, or other senators have been suspended at one point or the other? No. And we need fair hearing for the National Assembly to set the record right and to set the right template for everybody. On the issue of the Geneva picture, people must understand that when you are going for international conference, there are positions for gender. Women must be part of it, and the rest of it is not on the basis of personal patronage. And then people say it's a private affair. They should go and read the law that have to do with sexual harassment. Even the words you use, even if you allow somebody to be aroused, the law, the violence against person prohibition, they should go and look at the content. It's not a private issue. Either it happened at the National Assembly or anywhere. On what basis did you make it? On what connection and on what relevance? When speech like this come, if you start me well, I will treat you fine. On what basis? That's one. Then you move on to the issue of rivers, the question of somebody else. These are two issues. The local government election is different. Even if you present the budget today, until local government election takes place and credible people by the Supreme Court,
allocations will still not be released.
Allocation will still be upheld, but the salary of the local government staff must be paid. But in terms of money that have to do with the running of governance in other areas, will not be until a democratically elected local government chairman and councillors in place.
Comrade Steve Aluko, it's unfortunate I have to let you go. We are really pressed for time, but what a session we've had today. Thank you. Thank you very much for always honoring my invite. Every time I reach out to you, we keep the conversation going. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Comrade Steve Aluko. He's the executive director of the civil liberty organizations in Nigeria, and he represented the CLOs and the CSOs at the last national conference in Abuja. Well, next up is the Sunset News by 5:30, and by 6 o'clock, I would also come back to give you the Monday edition of Sport Cruise live on Mail and 98.3 FM. We announced some giveaway on Friday. Let's see if we have a winner. Stick around with us. My name is 𝐴꞉. Can I have a beautiful evening and bye for now.